In today's video, we're going to explore my new favorite Town Hall 11 attack strategy that you can use to trophy push, clan war, and equal match clan war leagues, which very rarely happen. What's going on, my friends? My name is Joe. Welcome back to the show. And at Town Hall 11, there's only a few different armies that I go to when it comes to getting a 3-star. One would be the IC5, which actually includes the ice golems, bowlers, witches, and bats. And that's actually a really good army if you're new to Town Hall 11, like you really want the 3-star, but you're not highly skilled. The other one would be the Miner Hog Rider Hybrid, which is a little more advanced and normally requires the Siege Barracks or the Stone Slammer or the Wall Wrecker, but that one's a little bit more advanced for some players because of the Queen charge. But this attack strategy right here is that army, but modified a little bit more advanced because we're going to use the recall spell and also include one attack that has the log launcher and another one that has the flame flinger. So the very first version of this army will include the log launcher and how I incorporate it into the attack. Now, when it comes to the Queen charge, a lot of players out there really struggle with it, and we're going to kind of focus in on that portion here. So when I'm looking at these bases, I'm normally looking at ways to clear the clan castle, which on this base is at the top, or the Eagle artillery. And since we were out in global or multiplayer battles, I prioritized the Eagle in this case because that will cause your miners and hogs a lot of problems. So we're going to start down here on the bottom with the Queen charge first, using the wall breaker to open up the wall for the Queen. Now we got to think about the funneling here. So we're going to drop the Queen and the healers and probably release a balloon to look for seeking air mines or air traps. So we're going to get that Queen in there. We're going to drop a wizard, then the balloon, and watch the balloon. This is why we drop it. It's going to find 2 seeking air mines as well as a pair of air bombs, but one of the air bombs is actually going to target the healers instead. The Queen's going to eliminate that Eagle artillery very early. She's going to run up into a hidden Tesla and continue to negotiate through the rest of the defenses here with the defensive king. So we use the rage spell, and you really got to pay attention to where you're placing that rage spell to include those healers. And that's something that one of my friends yesterday was having a really hard time with, is that he was placing the rage on top of the Queen and not including the healers, which causes the healers not to be boosted and heal the Queen up quickly. So here we go. We're going to go up into another air defense, and unfortunately we start losing healers because there were additional traps in this area. So this is where I have to think about protection of the healers and keeping the Queen alive. So as the Queen gets deeper against all these point defenses, we're going to use the recall spell and bring her off the map with the healers. Now we're going to place her on the far left side because in this particular attack, I forgot my Barbarian King. It happens to the best of us, right? So I dropped the Queen over here on the left to start clearing these buildings out here to make sure that my miners and hogs stay inside the base. Now we placed the log launcher on the far bottom corner to target the center of the base and potentially destroy these inferno towers that are in the center of the base. Now watch the log. The log starts damaging the town hall, and it's going to start damaging the buildings back behind it, which are the infernos. The Queen, she's working. Now we're going to start tying in our miners and hogs due to time, and we're going to send the Grand Warden with the miners and hogs to keep them alive to use his ability. Queen still has her ability. She's going to continue to negotiate up towards the top side of the base. The log launcher destroyed the inferno towers, and then some hogs just kind of ventured off to the right. They were just chalked up as a loss. So we're going to use our heal spells in dense areas of defenses like these expos. So the hogs get tied up in a tornado trap. We freeze the expos until the hogs get in there, and then we're going to use the heal spell. And I think I used the ability on the warden a little late. We could have used it early, but we used it a little late. Didn't necessarily matter because the Queen did survive and we still have her ability thanks to that recall spell. So the Queen's going to go up top, taking out Wizard Tower, Hidden Tesla, and additional buildings. We'll use the ability to speed the attack up, and then the miners, the Queen, and the Warden will try to finish off the rest of this base. The biggest key when it comes to the use of the recall is time. You really don't want to spend a lot of time on the Queen and have to use the recall spell because you will unfortunately cause yourself to time fail. So this attack is actually a different variation that includes the Flame Flinger. Now, I understand that not everybody out there can get these siege machines, but if you have the option to do so, they are super powerful for Town Hall 10, 11, 12, because that siege machine is donated by Town Hall 14. So our priorities on this one might shift a little bit because we have an Eagle, we also have a Clan Castle in the core. So I'm gonna prioritize my Queen Charge to go in after the Eagle Artillery like we have right now. She's up top. There goes our balloon, the same sequence as before, dropping the healers, using the sneaky goblins to pick apart some of these resource buildings, as well as the use of a super wall breaker to enter the queen inside the base. And I think I sent another one to try to open up more compartments for her. So she's going to continue to work here, but we have to pay attention to our point defenses. If you start getting around 3 point defenses at once targeting the queen, you're going to need to rage. So look ahead in your attack to make sure that you are not running into danger, because once they lock on, if you don't drop the rage fast enough, she will get eliminated quickly. Just keep that in mind. Now we're also going to tie in the Flame Flinger, because this compartment right over here is set up for Electro Dragons with the single target Inferno Tower. So the Flame Flinger placed off to the far left works out perfect. It will go in there and take out the single target. As the queen starts to negotiate in, there goes our rage spell for that queen to take on the cannons and the fast-paced archer tower, which is very similar to an X-bow. And as we work in there, she's got clear path straight to the town hall, looking good. So we're more than likely going to drop our Barbarian King in this one on the far left to start working on buildings over there. That way we're not taking up so much time and leaving buildings back behind after the miners and hogs travel through. We're going to freeze an X-bow because 2 X-bows at once on a queen charge is a little bit much. Then I'm going to drop the rage. There goes the Barbarian King on the other side, and the queen's going to get caught up on the wall, which is pretty typical because these buildings right here are too far away for her to target. She's going to work her way up into the defensive queen. We're going to use the ability because I was out of rage spells. And there goes our defensive Clan Castle troops, which was a dragon. We're going to go ahead and poison and freeze it, giving the queen time to clear. Here comes our miners and hog riders and Grand Warden through the center of the base because that single target was eliminated, and the warden's gonna run with them and you're gonna use the heals on them. Now we recalled the queen. You notice the queen's gone up top. I place her on the bottom of the base to start picking up buildings where the king left off. This is just the way it worked out in the middle of the attack. So the queen's going to work down there. The miners and hogs are going to power through the base. We're going to try to capture those hogs in the warden ability. Actually, we're going to use a heal. And then we're going to use the warden's ability at some point. There it goes. It's going to capture some of the hogs, but most of the miners. And they're going to power through the bottom of this base with the assistance of the archer queen, who's going to take out buildings that were missed by the miners and hogs. That way they're not traveling back to the back side of the base after they've cleared the rest of the defenses. Down will go the single target because there's just so many targets for it to try to take down, and we will finish up this base really nicely to include defensive Clan Castle troops. Now, one more thing I want to point out about this army is that you're going to notice that there are only 4 healers, and in past videos I normally mention that you probably should bring 5 healers with a queen charge, but because we're using the recall spell, it can only pick up so much housing space, and if you have a 5th healer, it will get left behind, so it's a bit of a waste. Also, take into consideration your queen level, because right now we're going against a Town Hall 12. And believe it or not, the Town Hall 12 has a lot more buildings than a Town Hall 11 does, and even though I have a maxed out level 50 queen for Town Hall 11, against a 12, we're going to run into some issues. So if you're working with like a level 40 queen against a maxed out Town Hall 11, you're going to run into issues because you're missing out on some damage per second, and you're also missing out on 2 different hero levels for the queen. So we're going to look at this base and we're going to approach it very similar to the last attack, using the Flame Flinger to try to get in here and clear some of these Inferno towers, since we're going against 3 instead of 2. And we're also funneling using the other side because with a Town Hall 12, your goal with your queen charge is changed. We want to take out the Town Hall's weapon because the miners and hogs more than likely cannot survive it if you use the ability on the warden too early. So this is the hardest part right here, is funneling the queen into the Town Hall. And we're going to speed this section up because she's got to negotiate through multiple things. A defensive king, she's also losing healers because of the air defense, and now we've got her where we want her to go. And the only reason why she went inside is because the gap between what she targeted was a little too far. So this building right here gets left behind and she goes back towards the Town Hall like we wanted. So she's going to take down the cannon, she's going to go up into the wizard tower and then backtrack and be pulled in by the skeletons into the king's altar, which is perfect because that's where we want her to go, into the Town Hall. Now I'm trying to preserve her life and her ability, so we're gonna rage her up, freeze the Town Hall, and before she walks into that single target, we're gonna go ahead and recall her off the map. That keeps her alive, that also keeps her ability, and allows the Flame Flinger to start targeting this Archer Tower and this single target Inferno Tower. But we also have to take into consideration the time on the attack because there's only 3 minutes and we're gonna run out of time. So we place the queen on the far right side to try to funnel these miners and hogs in. The Barbarian King is placed. We're gonna send in a wall breaker to scout, and then we're gonna place our miners, hog riders, and Grand Warden on ground mode. Now the queen, the ability will get used. She's going to clear a couple of buildings to force the miners and hogs up into the Expos, which are in fact Town Hall 12 level. We're going to drop a heal spell because it's a lot of power on those troops and the warden was a little too far away. The Flame Flinger has cleared one of the 2 Inferno Towers and it's locked onto the second. And then we're going to use that warden's ability to get these miners and hogs up into the backside. Now this is where things start to get a little sketchy because we have a hidden Tesla farm on the right. We have a multi-target Inferno Tower in the center, so we're going to release the hogs from the Flame Flinger. They're going to go up into the Air Sweeper and then turn back and go into the multi-target Inferno Tower while the miners and hogs negotiate, dropping the heal on the Tesla farm location to try to help those hogs through it, and the hogs in the core with the miners are able to take out the multi. I mean, this one was actually kind of crazy. The only problem that we almost ran into here was the fact that I think there was like 2 seconds left on the attack, and these 2 buildings right here got left behind. But we were able to 3-star a Town Hall 12 as an 11, but just be advised that this is not an easy feat. You will need a different army for 12s.